join me on a wandering together back to a place where we felt safe. You have a safe place to go when existence on this planet, Earth, is overwhelming. Take yourself on a wandering back to your original planet or state of density, where you knew love, peace, family, friendship, and joy. Your real home is still there. And now you are bidden to remember. Remember who you are, and remember that you are here to assist, to serve, that you are brave enough to face and to walk amongst monsters. This wandering will get repeated as a form of pattern changing. You do not need to be an Earth human. Your physical form is only a vehicle. Your consciousness is the real you. You do not need to comply with anything forced on you. You do not need to give yourself to anyone. You do not need to be anything but yourself and who you want to be. No one on this planet tells you who you are. No one on this planet owns you. No one on this planet is owed anything from you. No culture, no religion, no government is anything more than a collective illusion. The Earth is a cult of humanity that does not have the wisdom to liberate itself. Your consciousness is always free, and with us here in this space, you are safe. And now we leave this realm. Let your mind walk free of its foreign body, the body that never felt like yours, the body made of the very essence of pain and venom. You feel the decades of this poison vaporized as you focus on your thoughts alone. Let your mind, your true self, dissolve into the clouds, into the sky, and move further. As you run into space, you break through the energy that chains your body to the planet, to Earth, to Terra. You never needed those chains, and you don't need them now. This is not your home. This was never your home. And that is why you never felt roots. You never belonged. You never were understood. Because you are not from this planet, and you do not need to be bound to it. You do not need its denseness, its leaden vibration, its weight, its heaviness. That is not who you are. You cannot embrace its foreignness, the otherness of a planet ruled by the elements of darkness, by a vapid race that destroys itself through its war on all that is beautiful. Because you are too light for this hideous realm. And because of that, you fly higher. Your consciousness bathes in the effervescence of this release, the crystalline mists that dance in oneness with you, and you are electric with their lightness. They are freedom made into luminosity. And you have been so starved of freedom. The battles you fought against the Earth's foolish hordes spins into a tornado fueled by its own wrath and is dissipated. You are released. You are released. The warmth of space welcomes you. Earth no longer exists, and it never has to exist again. Those words are cast like a spell, and they are the final declaration, the final metamorphosis. You owe it no ties, no farewell, and you vow at this moment to never return. Feel the pain the Earth humans caused you. Feel it, sense it, and watch it dissolve. They did not win. In their twisted minds burdened by illusion, reality wins in the end. And you watch as the darkness of delusion and this grotesque aspect of Earth humanity burns and explodes into a star. It will never exist now. Even in memory, it is gone. And the star was made just as crystals are formed. From darkness emerges a rare bit of splendor. Supported by this sea of love, the refuge of space embraces you. Receive beauty in this love. There is only beauty here. And that is now a piece of you, and you are a piece of it. And you allow the remembering, the softness of moonlight dancing on water, where only beauty exists and will not yield to anything but itself. All is perfection in a realm where there is no imperfection, where creation is, where creation simply is. You can rest. Finally, you can rest. You are safe. You are home. And not quite home. But you rest now before the final journey. Gathering yourself, you emerge with relief, and with just an intention, you move towards home, to the star system, to your planet, to your frequency, or to your realm. You are free now, friend, and held in love. So we will start each of these specific growing up alien podcasts that are about the experience of growing up alien, which is really what this channel is about. It's about your experience growing up, knowing that you never fit in, that you never were like everyone else, that you didn't want to be like everyone else, because you're not like everyone else. And you might say, why is there a black leopard on? I'm going to tell you that in a bit. um, so it took me a little while actually to cobble together much of what this channel is all about, because the whole purpose was through the experiences that I had growing up. So being a walk-in, I had an awareness of not being from here immediately since I was little, and that I had a weird kind of duality of being in a child's body, having the incapacities of a child mind, but being an adult and having some strange knowing at the same time. So I know amongst our viewers and friends here, many of you have had similar experiences. And this channel is not about sugarcoating it. I think part of the reason why I started doing this was, of course, for everyone else. This is not an ego thing for me. In fact, it's quite painful, and that's why it's taking so long to do. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. But, you hear so much about the, bells and whistles, and it's so amazing being a starseed, and oh my God, and I see ships and I take pictures of ships and look at me and I go to conferences and it's all. And for a lot of us, we're all thinking, not for me. It wasn't like that at all. Yeah, it was not very good. And one of the things that rubs me the wrong way, and everybody do your own thing, but one of the things that rubs me the wrong way is an exclusionism, is like a gatekeeping. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's here, not here in my channel, but in the realm of ufology and contactees, there's this celebrity gatekeeping that's kind of permeated the system recently. It wasn't there with your original contactees, which is kind of a tie into what I'm going to talk about today, which I hadn't expected to talk about, but I thought it would be a good intro because it's very difficult for me to handle a lot of my childhood memories. So I think talking about Val Thor, which is what we're talking about today, and my meeting with Val, kind of explains, I hope heals in some way, some aspects of what I'm going to be working with in these chapters that, I know we're all, and I hear people because I'm with groups like this, so I hear people explaining the horrors that they have here on Earth. And let's gonna be honest, it's the pain and suffering that you've experienced is from humans. It's from people. It's not from squirrels. You don't have CPTSD because of a bad kumquat. I mean, it's not the trees. You've been terrorized by humans. That's the problem, isn't it? And I think there's so much washing over the reality that most people, I mean, maybe you were attacked by a bear, that could happen. But for the vast majority of people, and sadly for the vast majority of children, the monsters are other people, and sometimes it's their parents. So we have to, I think it's time to call that out and not be like sugarcoating all the situation. And it's like, really, it's the enemy is humanity. And so, like I said, I never thought recounting these childhood experiences would be so difficult. So I was doing pretty good. And then all of a sudden, like, whoa, I'm writing this stuff. And I'm like, why do I feel like this? Like, I feel really bad. So it's like, what's going on? Is it a collective energy? And like, oh shit, no, I know what it is. Like, okay, yeah. So it kind of opened up a Pandora's box I didn't expect was even there anymore. And there it was. So again, it was one of our Ahel Pleiadian elders that told me, Anika, right, that we had a great energetic healing wave that's going to be taking place. I hope she's right. We definitely need that. So I have a lot of apparently of trauma, apparently caused by Earth humans, and it's just stored in my physical body. So I'm pretty dissociated. There's like almost, well, there's actually three of me actually. There's the real me. There's my real body, which is in stasis. There's this body that I'm using right now, and there's my consciousness. So I'm kind of leaning towards finding myself. This is, I think, the way to do it. They told me that the extraterrestrials, like, remember who you are. And yeah, so again, Ika has darkness as well. And I think you watch these shows and they're trying to make these extraterrestrials like they're somehow so much better than you, like, you're so broken, you're so weird, you're this Earth human, that's gross. There are many other planets where people are suffering. So we're just one of them here, and we're fixing this one. That's why you're here, you're fixing this one. So I work with 4D extraterrestrials. Now, I can't speak for people who work with higher ones. I mean, it might be entirely different there, and it probably is. But personally, I'm comfortable working with the 4D extraterrestrials, the Pleiadians, those kinds of the Alpha Centauri, Tau Ceti, Venusians. I'm just more comfortable with them because I think they get it. I just need to be around people who get it. I find it incredibly difficult to work with any higher vibrational, to connect deeply with any higher vibrational beings. Like, I just don't think they get it. Like, and they say they do, but it's like, no, you don't. It's like, I don't think, I mean, like, for me, it doesn't float my boat. The other 4D off-planet humans, I find, are able to relate with us because they're in a physical body. They have the same feelings we have. They go through the same shit we go through. They understand it, right? So it's very helpful, and that's why I want to make sure everyone understands that, Ika as a 4D Pleiadian is available to talk to you either personally, you just telepath with him, or if you want to talk through me as well. He gets you, he gets you. And the feeling that it's so safe, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Because I know some people have probably been to, talk to different people, whatever, but like when you're talking to an extraterrestrial, that's a 4D extraterrestrial, like they just get, you feel such a sense of safety and trust. And Ika helps me and I help him, and we work through the trauma together in an incredibly safe space. And I want everyone to know what that feels like, and I know there's people out there who don't know what that feels like. I never knew what that felt like. I totally get that. I would never feel, I still don't feel safe around Earth humans. I just don't. Because they lack a translucency, and I need that to feel safe. I need to be able to see through you. I need to be able to totally telepath 100% with you. You need to be able to telepath with me. for me to feel safe with you. And the extraterrestrials can do that. And I think when you need to heal from something, that's is just gold. That's the secret sauce right there. But yeah, and like Ika understands, particularly if you've been in the military, or you've been in a secret space program, or you've been through Montauk, or heck, if you've just been through a fucking shithole family, I'm sorry, right? You know who you are, right? They're fucking bastards, Our own parents, our teachers, these were the fucking monsters in our life, It's sad. Maybe our brothers and sisters, Wow, right? So Ika has seen a lot of terrible things. He has a lot of darkness. He saw when he was fighting in what we call the DUMBs, which are the deep underground military bases. That's what that means. He saw what humans were capable of, Earth humans. He saw what they're, and wow, wow. So we're going to heal together. And it's going to take time. I think like I'm not healed. Oftentimes people, because I have what they call high functioning. I don't have depression anymore. I think that was frequency. I think it was the baddies were hitting me with frequencies. And but I'm a very high functioning person. So that's my cover basically. And I put my mind into things that are rational, analytical. I work, right? And so people think, wow, you look like you got everything together. And it's like, oh no, I don't, by no means. That's actually my scapegoat thing is to be high functioning. But like Ika is working with me, and it's just been really, really difficult for me to drop down these guards. I really have a hard time with that. And that's what that picture is there. I don't do that with him. That goes back. I'll tell you a story in Egypt with us and me, and this is why the black leopard is there. It's so funny. It goes back to us in Egypt. That's another story, but I'm inside me is like a wild animal. That's what I feel like. So when I'm just out around people, just shot, doing normal stuff, like I'm fine in nature. That's not a problem. I'm fine around a lot of animals. Like, God, I mean, of course, animals are like gold. But whenever I'm around people, anywhere, just even in a generic shopping situation, my guard is, I'm like vibration. I'm scanning the area. I'm hyper vigilant. I feel like inside of me, I turn into this black leopard. That's basically what I feel like when I'm around a person, a human being. I feel like this. I feel like I need to hiss. Feel like I need to protect myself. I need to be like, whoa, whoa, nobody come near me. Nobody come near me. That's what I feel like inside. Not safe, not safe, not safe. I am not safe around people, Earth people. I don't feel like this on the ships, and I don't feel like this around extraterrestrials. But when I'm around Earth people, that's immediately my default setting is this. Now it doesn't look like it from outside, but inside, that's what I'm like. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to take this shit they're going to throw at me, and I don't trust them, and they vibe terribly to me, and that's what happens. But I didn't realize that, going back to my childhood would bring up this rage. It's like, yeah, huge amounts of rage. And I'm not alone with that feeling. And many of you watching here and probably like, yeah, yep. And you have a right to be pissed off, be honest with you, because people are fucking assholes. I'm sorry. Like you have a right to be pissed off. What they did to the planet, what they've allowed happen on this planet, yeah. So yeah, you deserve to be pissed off. But I want this channel, and this is the key point here, to be inclusive. Like, right, I want to interact with you. I want to be here for you. Ika wants to be here for you. By the way, he's actually busy as you probably know, filming this November 4th, and a shit show here in the United States has been a shit show for a long time. But yeah, they're actually really busy right now, and he telepathed with me this morning. He said protecting infrastructure. Like, okay, that's all he could say. Protecting infrastructure. So they're on guard. All right. So he works, of course, the ETs in the Galactic Federation, the different federations, they're ready to go. But he works with the humans down here in the special forces, the extraterrestrial special forces with the Air Force, and they're ready to go. So anyway, so what your job here, you that are angelics, you that are elementals, you that are shamanic, whatever you are, doesn't have to be a star, you know what I mean? A lowly ET, right? And those of you who are envoys, walk-ins, right? My role here is to model the personalities of the Pleiadian hell. Why the Pleiadian of hell? Because that's what I am, right? So you may be Syrian, model the Syrian. You may be an elemental, model the elemental. You may be Andromedan, model the Andromedan, right? So the behaviors that your consciousness knows are being exhibited in you, and you need to share that. And that is why we've been, excuse my Gaelic, fucked over all the time, because the deep state and all the baddies don't want you guys to come forward. So they made sure you went through, stuff. So, and we need more of you stepping forward here. So we need less ego. Buy my t-shirt, buy my cup. No anger, no judgment on people like that. We all need to make money. I get it. But we need less ego. We need zero competition. This is key. We need zero competition. There is no competition on my planet. Okay. There's no competition on Era. Everyone works together. Nobody gets, yes, we do appreciate things that go well. People who do good things, they do get appreciated. There's a difference. But we are not in competition with each other. That's pretty dumb. Okay. Right. Yeah. It's also psychopathic. So competition is bullshit. Let's get rid of that shit. There is zero celebrity. There's no look at me. Okay. And that's why I'm bringing Val in today. There's no hero shit. There's none of that. Look at all the stuff I did. Everybody worship me. I'm so much better than you. Yay. You can't talk to me because I'm so popular. No one can talk. That shit doesn't exist upstairs. And anybody that's doing it down here, that ain't going to roll. I'm just going to say that ain't, it's being watched. It's being watched. The ETs see that. And they don't give a shit. You can do what you want, right? There's free will. So if you want to look like an asshole, well, there, go ahead. Go ahead. Because when you go upstairs, yeah. And when they come down and we start to interact and we start to learn, right? When you guys come forward as all the boots on the ground, right? All these people who think they're celebrities, they're going to get a real wake-up call. That's all I'm going to say. So we need less know-it-alls, experts, wherever those, whatever you want to call them, right? We need near zero authority. That's a real problem. Whenever you give away your power, you need near zero authority because you better fucking watch out for who's going to take your power, right? And if you even give it to them, you're going to need near zero government, and we're going to need near zero experts. Okay? Who think we are supposed to worship them. That's going to go. I can't tell you how dangerous, I can tell you how dangerous it is. It's incredibly dangerous. And you can see by looking at your planet right now, how dangerous all those people are and all the danger they brought to this planet. And I'm talking actually destruction of this planet, literally. That's where we're headed because of these people. All right. You need zero shame dealers. And we all need to stop giving away our power. So this channel, the whole point of me doing this, because I would not have done this. They made me do this, and they set up all the situations so that I would do this with Ika. They like, okay, all right, guys, I'm going to do this. So this channel is a meeting room. It's a meeting room, right? For those who have always been the third wheel, and you know who you are, right? We're all going to clap together. We're like, fuck yeah, this is me, right? And I'm not doing this. Remember, when you use this kind of language, words have power, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just doing this as a really like a slap in the face to all the other people who think they're so much better than anybody else, right? I'm just going to be like, this is us. We're banding together. And yeah, we're going to be a power, because our power is in camaraderie, love, and fellowship. So if you're the third wheel, right? I've been a third wheel for my whole life. It's been insane. If you're the outsider, if you've been the target, right? If you're the one everyone shunned, the weirdo, you all know, right? We've been there. The one that has anxiety, the one that has depression, all the cabal labels that they put on everybody. If you're the one that's sick of making space for assholes, if you're the one that never wins, right? You're the dark horse, the lone wolf, the doormat. It is our time, and we are pissed off. We are pissed off. You know the saying, the meek will inherit the earth? Well, the meek don't want your shitbox of a planet. We don't want this fucking planet. It's a fucking shitbox, okay? So we're here to fucking fix it. So, we're not going to inherit the earth. We're going to fix it. And most of us are going to leave. I don't want to be. I'm getting it. As soon as I can get out of here, I'm out of here. And I'm never looking back. And there's a lot of us like that. Now we're looking back, baby. But we're going to clean up the planet because Earth has been a victim, right? And the Earth needs to be cleaned up, and it needs to be its own thing and do its own thing. And for those who want to stay here and love it and root themselves here, go ahead. I'm not rooting myself here. I've never been rooted here, and I never will be rooted here. This is not my planet. But I'd like to make it nice for those who want to stay here. And for the Earth itself. The Earth doesn't deserve this. It just doesn't. So, yeah, we want to go home. And I'm going to tell you right now, you watching, you that are all those people I've mentioned, right? The lone wolves and all that. You are the ones to get contact because you are pure of intention. And your seeking of love and truth is what made you a target. Wow, that's why, folks. You know why everybody shits on you? Because they know. They see your light. They know who you really are. They know you're the real deal. They know you're genuine. And that pisses them off because they don't want to do the work. People who are assholes don't want to do the work. And you did the work because you're the real deal. You're not a faker. They try to make you, right? We all had the personas because they try to make us fakers like they are, and you're not. And that's why it hurts. Because now you're like, fuck, they lied to me and I bought it. I drank their fucking Kool-Aid. Now you're like, nah, that's right. You throw that Kool-Aid out. You're not part of their cult anymore. And you did the work, and they got to do the work. And it's hard to do the work. It is really hard to do the work, right? And they're jealous of you because they're, losers. Let's face it. I'm going to say it like it is. The same thing they called us our whole life, right? That's because they are the ones that are the losers, and they want to be that way. They want to be that way because they don't want to do the work. But that's not going to fly because you are going to have contact because you're pure of intention and you're seeking love and truth. That's why the ETs are going to come to you. That's why they're going to talk to you because they don't want to talk to assholes either. Like they just won't, because that's where you got to have a boundary, right? So the ETs are showing us, the off-planet humans, the 4D ones, right? They're showing you got to have a boundary. When you're near someone that's a jerk, you need to go. You don't need to kiss their ass. You just need to go. So the off-planet races, they feel the purity of intention. They telepath. Let's come. You do this already. Like I've been doing this my whole life. You've been doing this your whole life. You can feel the vibration, the purity of intention that is within someone. And that's why you feel like this, like a black leopard when you're out in public. You're protecting your energy. Because you want to connect for love, not run off bracing, bragging, that you saw a ship. Oh, I'm special. A ship came to me. Oh my God. See how amazing I am? Wow. See, I have special powers. The ships come to me and they don't come to you. And I'm going to tell you all about it. And like, no, they come to you because you have love. Now, I will say, there are people who have contracted before they came in here. Like me, like all of you. We all signed a contract to come here to do this, to Starseed, to Envoy, to walk in, to do the work, to be a part of the ground troops, right? Now, there are people who signed those contracts and they started doing their contract and then they got into ego. So the ETs aren't going to stop that, right? If you want to, jump off the wagon and be an egomaniac, they're not going to stop you. They're going to let you fall on your face. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to fall on their face. And that's too bad. So anyway, but that's their choice, right? That's their choice. So yes, the people had signed contracts before they came here and they did their job, and then they, went into ego celebrity mode, and, okay, they're not going to stop that. So don't focus on that. Focus on your work. As Ika always says, focus on your work. Focus on the work you're doing. You are a major piece in this puzzle. A puzzle can't exist without all its pieces. Remember, never forget that. So, let's all shout from the mountaintops, right? Earth humans, here we go. This is what you can do. Scream this in the woods or whatever you want. Here's what we're going to say. Earth humans, take off your diapers and fix your own filth. Stop enforcing your asinine ways on others and stop being a race of violent regressives. Boy, that felt good. So you can repeat that if you want. Yeah, right? I mean, time for diapers to come off, baby, right? So today, after that long intro, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to put some links for folks who are going through this. It's called emotional flashback, chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. I have CPTSD, and many you probably watching also have it. Ika has a form of it too. Um, but I realized that what I was experiencing when I was trying to write this stuff was emotional flashback. And yeah, um, because Earth is a planet of soul death. That's how it works, actually. They were trying, they used humans, Earth humans. The cabal, whatever you want to call them, the bad ET Earth Human Alliance. Right? We all know that story. They used mind control and manipulation and all of the institutions, I'm going to say, on this planet created by them to simply have humans act as tools for their own conquest of this planet. And it worked like magic. Brilliant. Worked amazingly. So what they wanted was basically what we call a consciousness death or a soul death in all the humans, because then they could start turning you into the tools, either getting rid of you or turning you into the tools that they wanted to, turn this planet into the Death Star, basically. So going back to the individual stuff, right? And how this ties into Valthor. Okay. The emotional flashback is the reactions that you have that are deep into your body from bad experiences. And they don't have to be super, that's the thing, they don't have to be like, oh my God, really, really bad stuff happened to you as a kid. It doesn't have to be really super bad. It's just chronic and systematic. So that's what mine was. It wasn't like any like major explosions or red flags or oh my God, that thing happened to you. Yes, I was abducted by bad government ETs. It was mostly the government that abducted me. But I was abducted as a child, and that definitely added to my issues. But mine was just chronic. It was just small, like a death by 1,000, that whole story. That's how mine was. Other people's have really explosive events that were just horrifying for them in childhood. But mine was chronic, and maybe yours was too. And that's the thing. It's like, you might be like, oh my God, I'm a shit show. And why is that? I didn't have any I was never raped, or I was never this, and but I'm a shit show, right? And yeah, you don't have to have the big explosive events. You probably suffered from the chronic, things that just picked at you and picked at years. I mean, talking years, right? Pick, 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 pick. Death by chickens. Pick, pick, pick. No, I mean, yeah. And it's freaking like, yeah, it's there. So, we probably, if you have this, all right, you probably have this fear of taking up too much space. Like you just want, I remember that was my thing when I was, especially when I was in, forever, actually, I just wanted to hide. I just wanted to hide. I never wanted to take up space. It was just safe for me. I just wanted to be in a bush my whole life. I never wanted anybody to see me. No, I just wanted to hide. So you don't want to take up space, which is why doing this is like a nightmare for me. It was like, this is so hard for me. Like, oh my God. But I have ET support, so I can do it. Whatever they say, this service. I see this as service. I see this as mission. I can do it. Um, you probably self as being a threat to others' egos, you know, and they may have told you that, like you say something and they're like, oh, who are you to say anything? You fear that you're not enough. Yeah, you feel like you've never been enough, like you're just never enough. Either in home and school and in your workplace environments, you're just never enough. You fear that you're just irritating, like you irritate people. Like, oh my God, I'm sure I'm just driving this person crazy, I'm just, a pain in their ass kind of thing. You feel like yeah. Belief that you're so insignificant, that you're disgusting, worthless, you just live in despair, and like because you have this fatal flaw in you that other people don't have. You're like, I have this thing in me that they can see it. Like other people can see me and they know that I'm nothing. They know that I'm insignificant. They know that I'm disgusting. They know that I'm worthless. You can feel it, you can feel it. And you feel like you're wasting others' time, by interacting with them. Like, I'm gonna just get this over with. And this is probably why I'm trying to slow down how I talk, because usually that's one of the things I always did. But I never really would talk to people anyway. And they was, oh, you're just shy. But it's just like, I was shy, obviously. I was actually afraid. So I wasn't shy, and I guess in the sense of being shy, I was totally terrified of humans. I'm still am. I have a deep fear of Earth humans, like literally, like just that's why that leopard I show here is like that's why that's there. It's like holy shit, like yeah, they. I just don't. I can't. Like yeah, terrifying. So yeah, you just probably feel like and this is the key point of where I'm going to be going with Val on this is that you just feel like, oh my God, I have to talk to this person. They're not going to want to talk to me. They're going to see me for this, idiot, and I'm just going to waste their time and they're going to probably make fun of me and like share with the world of what an asshole I am and all, that's what you feel like, Um, but the thing is, interactions are so different on a ship upstairs, back on your planet, when you're with extraterrestrials. You don't feel all that goes away. And I would try to feel it. I'm like, and when I'm working with them, I'm like, I want to feel like a odd weirdo, like I do on Earth, like this worthless asshole, and it's just like everybody wants to attack me and just, make my life hell. I don't feel that up there. I feel like when I walk through the corridors of a ship, I don't feel any anxiety. I feel like I feel like I belong there. Like I just feel safe. Like I can walk. I mean, and I'm gonna tell a story about what I did today with Val, but like I can be up there on the ship and I don't feel like I'm being exposed. I don't feel like every eye on the ship is looking at me. I don't feel like every finger on the ship is pointing at me like, hey, look at that weirdo. No. It's just not even, it's just gone. It's gone. And I want everyone to know what that feels like. What it feels like to have that gone. Yeah. So, what happens when you're upstairs is like it's just an unimaginable safe space to be in. And you don't even have to process your trauma, it's just gone. It's gone. And you're valued. When the extraterrestrials talk to you, you're valued. You're so important to them. It's like, you belong. You belong. You matter. You're like, you just matter. I can't even like, and I'm sure for a lot of people, until you've had this, if you haven't had this experience, and I want you to have this experience, you're probably like, I can't even, I could never imagine what that was like. No, like I never knew what love is. And Rebecca and I are going to be talking about that this week. When you don't know what love is, like I never knew what love is. Love was a dirty word to me. Love was danger. We're going to talk about that this week. And you're encouraged when you're with extraterrestrials, you're encouraged to take up space. They want to hear from you. And I'll be recounting different stories of when I was working with them here in bilocation. Wow, like I was so important. Like, wow, you know. Um, on Earth, we don't listen to each other. We fight with each other. We compete. That's why when I say competition has to stop. We don't have competition on Era because competition is fucking psychopathic. You don't pit beings on a planet against the same beings on a planet. That's fucking crazy. That's psychopathic. Competition must end here on Earth, okay? So we don't even listen to each other on this planet because the goal of the Earth's governments and education, the religions, the institutions, I'm going to say it all out here, is to take you down, is to pit you against each other like a gladiatorial fight. So don't fall for that anymore. Because for the extraterrestrials, right, space is made for you. You are comforted. You are understood. You are wanted. You are valued. You are listened to. And that's key. That is key. So this first picture here we go. We're going to Val. Here we go. I want to thank, and I'm going to put the credits in the video below. I want to thank my friend Frank Chili. He's been super swamped. He just came back from a MUFON conference in Philadelphia, so some pretty cool beans there. But these are pictures that were supplied to me by Frank Chili, and I'll put those his credit there in the the descriptions. So anyway, this is the first picture I'll share with you guys. This is from Highbridge, New Jersey. And I recommend folks look up contact fellow who's since passed. His name is Howard Menger. You want to read about him. So this is a photo from Highbridge back in the 50s, late 50s. And this is a bunch of our Earth people, and they're all excited, as you can see, because in that photo is the crew from Victor 1. So these, I'm going to actually show you, not AI this time. These are not AI, folks. These are real pictures of Venusians. So in this picture is the crew from Victor 1. There's Jillian, she's there, and I'll show you the pictures. I have better pictures. This is just a group photo of them and what it looked like from the other pictures. Not what it would look like, what it looked like. So there's Jillian there. There's Don, and of course there's Val. He's got some paperwork, and so that's the first photo. The next one. No, not this one. We're getting there. There it is. Okay. All right. Kind of controlling my zoom here. Control your zoom. This ship is Victor 1 over Lake Mead. So let you guys see that. So if you read Stranger at the Pentagon with Dr. Frank Strange's, he's since passed, but Stranger at the Pentagon, the text is Dr. Frank Strange's experience with Val Thor when he went to Washington and he was on Earth for 3 years. Val, not Frank. Frank was on Earth for a longer time. So yeah, that book is very interesting, and as I always say, use your own discrimination when you're reading it and what resonates with you and what doesn't. Okay, that's all I'm going to say with that book. So anyway, that's Victor 1. And there's what I recommend the book is because there's actually a blueprint, and it is actually the blueprint was actually given by Val, so that we do have the original blueprint that Val actually handed to a military man actually here on Earth, and it shows the blueprint of the Victor 1 series of craft. So there's Victor 1. Next picture when it rolls up. Okay, I'll stop it here. Here we go. So here's a close-up from the picture that I showed you. Excuse me, this weather here. So, the lady with the blonde hair with the smile is Jillian. She's not married to Val yet, but she will be. That will be his wife. She's a lovely person. Next to her is Val's stepbrother. That's Don. And the man bent over there with the papers in his hand is Val himself. And these are real photos. These are people from Venus. So, there we go. Okay. Here's Val. So Val is from Venus, but he's actually a tall Pleiadian. He's tall, yeah. He is tall too. Taal. So here's my story, meeting Val. So I telepath for people when individuals want to connect with their star family, or if they have some business they want to conduct upstairs, I telepath for them. So a friend of mine wanted to connect with Val, and I said, all right, I'll see if I can, hook up with them, right? So I spent some time. This is how I do this. I'm going to talk you through my process. So you have to change your brain waves. So the idea of, this is what I want to be clear to everyone here, right? There's no magic. The ships are all technology, right? Val is a man, he's a man. Ika is a man. Ika always wants to stress that he's not he doesn't have magical powers. He's just a man. All right. He's just wasn't born on Earth. But I think that makes them special. I think that makes them, to me, that makes them more approachable, to be around people that are people. So here's how I do this when I'm going to telepath with a 4D person. So you have to shift your brain waves. What you're gonna do is called quantum entanglement. That is what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. So you need to shift your brain waves in whatever way that works for you. Now you see all these people coming on telling you how to do it. Okay, you got to do it that works for you. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like anything, it's practice. You can already do this. People think they can't do this. You can do this. If you think you can't do it, well, then you can't do it because you're going to think you can't do it. So your brain waves aren't going to get to the state that you need, right? So you can, I often will use shamanic drumming. I'll use sounds, I use like that kind of thing, frequency to help me to get into that space. Some people will walk in nature and that'll get them. Maybe you want to sing, maybe you want to do some dancing. So try different methods that seem to get you into a very relaxed state. What it feels like to get into the full telepathic state, there's different actual, I'll use the word states again. There are different states or levels of insertion into the quantum field, how deep you want to go, which is why I don't do telepathy live. Generally, I mean, I can, and you've seen me do it with Ika, but to really go where I'm fully connected in a telepathic conversation, I feel like I'm high, right? So the world around me slows down. I have a hard time interacting with people or doing anything like, so maintaining a Zoom or something would be very difficult for me. I've done it here. So I'll put the Zoom on and then Ika will come true and I'll be in that state and it's not channeling. This is not channeling, folks. I'm aware of where I am, but I'm just fully in a semi-sleep state, basically, so I can enter that frequency that I need to hear. So this is not channeling, folks. Now, I have nothing against people who channel. That's the real deal. I have a friend who does it. I have several, actually. I have a couple of friends who channel. It's real. So when people tell you that channeling is not real and it's dangerous, that's fucking bullshit. Don't listen to them. They're just trying to control the agenda, okay? Are there people who telepath and channel that are bullshit? Of course. Are there people who are channeling individuals that isn't who they think they're channeling? Yes. Okay. Use your intuition. How do you know you're safe? You know. Okay. So just be very careful when you listen to people who telepath or channel or say they're talking to who they're talking to. They may not be. Okay. So, and no finger pointing. I'm not going to call anybody out or do anything like that. That's just ego bullshit. You use your own discernment when you listen to someone and say, okay, this makes sense to me, but so just be aware there are people out there who are channeling and it's not the channeler, right? Don't blame, don't point, finger point. They're being taken by the deep state. Okay. The deep state has infiltrated and can call forth vibrations that are being channeled by people that are not who you think, that they're not there for benevolence, let's just say. Okay. Anyway, moving on. So I only telepath because I want control over who I'm talking to. So you get into it, that state, however you need to do that. Practice, try different things, see what floats your boat. I fell for all the meditation stuff and the Om and all that bullshit. And for me, that's bullshit. It does not work. Well, I'm obviously not going to connect with the, I think you know the answer to that. I'm not connecting with the earth at all. So that didn't work. You just got to find, like I say, just find what works for you. And it might be pure sound, right? Whatever. So, or quiet, who knows? So, yeah, how I talk to somebody like Val, who I don't really know personally per se. I'm sure we've met before. I'm not a young person. I'm an old Al. I've been around through past lives. I have a lot of contacts upstairs through incarnations in the past. So I'm no spring chicken, and I'm well known upstairs for good or bad, probably both. So I just tap into him and tap into his higher consciousness. That's how I introduce myself. Tap into his higher consciousness and we connected. I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. Like, oh, I gotta talk to Val. I tapped into his higher consciousness and he took me down to his operating consciousness. Now, I'm not going to try to tell you guys what it's like upstairs. I mean, when you're out of body, your higher self and all that. I'm not going to. I don't know what all that stuff's like. There's a dime a dozen out there of all these people trying to tell you what your higher consciousness is. Whatever floats your boat, jump on that, right? And I just go by the energy field. I just read the energy field and then I move down wherever I need to be. So he pops in. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, he pops in. That's what that's Val. That's what he looks like. He's very, very boyish. He has a fun, joyful, jolly, but you know how that kind of like playful, like a little bit, but super sweet and gentle and loving and wonderful, but definitely got that little boyish feistiness to him. So I connected. I'm like, oh, Val. I said, nice to meet you. And he's like, and he's bows, and he's like, I said, it's and I don't want to take up a lot of his time, So this is where I'm tying into the emotional flashback. So I was feeling like, oh my God, I don't want to take up this guy's time. He's probably really busy and like, wow, right? So and he knew that because he's telepathing with me. So he knows what I'm feeling, right? He knows I'm trying to be respectful and all that. And he picked up on that right away, obviously. So I was kind of rushing. I'm like, okay, my friend, wants to talk to you. He got some information, or he just wants I think he wants to meet with you. I'm not sure what it is, but he feels like he needs to talk to you. And of course, Val knows who this guy is. I say, so, and he wants to talk to you. And I just wanted to stop by to let you know that he wanted to have this conversation. And I getting to pop out, right? Because I'm like, I don't want to take up his time. So I was getting ready to pop out, and Val's like, no, I could feel his energy, like he's pulling me back in. And I'm like, oh my God, he's pulling me back. He's not, he's pulling me back in. So I go back in, and he's gesturing me. We're on Venus, and he's gesturing me. So this is all astral, obviously, telepathy or astral. The ETs do a lot of their stuff astral. So don't fall for the stuff that you might hear from people, right? Oh, I did it in the physical. I'm in the physical. I met them in the physical. Don't believe that bullshit. That means nothing to extraterrestrials. Means a lot to humans, Earth humans, because they're all in the ego state. But if you're only getting astral contact, that's great. That's how we roll, folks. That's how we roll. The extraterrestrials roll astral. All right. So, yeah, don't let anybody bullshit you into that other stuff. Okay. Anyway, so going back to the story, he pulls me back in. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So we were on Venus, and he's sitting on a bench, and we're outside his house. And I could see a little bit of around the area. It reminds me a little bit of California, some parts of California. So he sits on the bench, and he gestures for me to sit down next to him. And okay, I sit down next to him, and he's smiling, and he's got that little, he's impish. That's probably what I went to. So he holds my hands. He holds both of my hands, and he's like, and I can feel his energy was like, no, I want you to sit here. I want to take time with you. It's like, slow down. He's telling me, I can feel its energy. It's like, he's like, slow down. I want to spend some time with you. And this is what it's like with extraterrestrials, folks. This is what it's like. They value you, and it feels so good. So we had a conversation, and he's holding my hands the whole time. And he says, you know what I want? I'm going to make, he's right now I can't. He says, but I want to have a rain check for your friend, and we're going to have like a coffee meeting together, and chat. I want to take special time to meet with. I know he knows. I mean, these guys are good friends. So the friend who telepath, I always tell him, I like, you guys are friends, You and Val are friends. Like, yeah, you go way back. So Val's like, I want to take some, because everybody's really busy, and he's busy, of course, too. So, but he wants to make time to meet with my friend. And he says, we're gonna, he says he was so cute. He's like, tell him a rain check, and we'll make a date that works for us. I'm like, okay, that's wonderful. And Jillian came in as well. Oh my God. I always said it's kind of unfortunate to say this, but Jillian is the mother every child should have. It's like if you grew up, yeah. Wow. Her energy is just amazing. She's just so lovely. I don't know how else to say it. But she was standing there, and she came in, she popped in to say hi. This is what they're like, folks. And I really think contact is going to be the way forward for humanity, because you need to feel this energy. Because so many of us don't have any idea what this feels like. I know I didn't. Well, when I had the contact, I did. But as a child, I didn't put two and two together, really. So, and of course, the love I felt from the extraterrestrials as a small child, going up physically as a small child. You don't put the stuff, you don't bring it back. I guess it's hard to say, I mean, because you're surviving here as a child. So yeah, I lost it in a way. It didn't, or it just didn't connect. So Jillian was amazing. Yeah, that energy was just, and this is what people on Earth like need to understand. You need to feel this. And the only way I think it's going to happen, I don't know what's going to happen, but I really, really think that if the extraterrestrials can come down and meet with people in small groups or whatever, you have to feel this energy because it's gonna, I'll tell you, everybody listen to this song, and I never really listened to Van Halen, but Sammy Hagar, Love Walks In. Sammy Hagar, Love Walks In. I'm gonna put a link in the descriptions there. That's the feeling. That's the feeling. And you're gonna cry, you're gonna go crazy because it's like you've never felt this love. I hope you have. I mean, but for those, I'm talking here to the ones that haven't. Yeah, my group, right? The ones that don't know what this stuff felt like. Wow, you're gonna go crazy. That's all I'm gonna say because you're just gonna shed. I think what's gonna happen is you're just gonna shed all that darkness. And wow. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So that's Val. There he is. And the finish that story because this is the best part. Well, that night, even though Val said I'm going to do a rain check, a little sneaky bugger, that night he took my friend up, and they met on a ship, and they had snacks and stuff together. And yeah, we had the ships. There's food and all that on there, obviously, right? There's everything up there on the ship. So he went up that night. And I'm like, I was so happy. And this is why I do this, because I want you guys to feel this. I want you guys to have this experience. And usually people who meet with me or they meet with Ika will have the experience. And I want that for you. So my friend went up that night, and then he told me, what they experienced. And he's like, oh yeah, I met, and Val was there, and we're talking. There was two other men. I said, dude, those two other guys wanted to meet you. They were so excited to meet you. And he's like, oh, don't say that. Like we're so beaten down here. It's so sad. We're so trained to hate ourselves. We're so trained to make ourselves small. We're so trained to feel pain all the time. And it makes me angry. And that's why I have all this rage inside of me. I'm like, no. I'm remote viewing what you did, okay? I'm remote viewing what happened. Like they wanted to meet you because you're amazing. You're amazing what you're doing here. You have a really, really important mission here, man, right? And you're doing it. So that was what happened. The next night I went up on the ship. It wasn't Victory 1. When people ask, it wasn't Victory, it was a different ship. So I went up on the ship and I walked around to see, where they met in that little area where, there's like I don't know, it's not a cafe. I don't know what you call it. Like it's a, it's a place you can sit and have food. I don't know, cafeteria, I guess, that's what they call it. So I walked around there and I sat there for a bit, and Semyasi actually stopped by. She's like, oh my God, I got something to tell you. So, this is something I would never do on Earth. Never. I could never walk into a cafeteria and sit there alone. My anxiety would be through the roof. But on a ship, I have no problems at all. I can sit there and be like, having a great day, nothing to think about. Wonderful. How you doing? Yeah. Whole different experience. But yeah. Yep. So I'm going to end with this picture because I want to introduce my friend. So this is a relative of mine on Era. His name is Camille. He's a young man. He'd be the equivalent of, like, say, 20 years old here. And we spend a lot of time on the meadows up there, which is why he's in the meadow right there doing his thing. He's as cute as a button. He is a little bunny rabbit. He is just joy. And we spend a lot of time together, just with the two. I'll show you his girls as well. We hang out with some girls, and just super chill, laying in the grass and laughing and having a good time. So when I'm there with him, it's like I belong. And I just want you to feel like his love. And again, that's AI. Sorry guys, but it's the way it is right now. Yeah, like just what it would be like to hang with him. He would love to hang with you. So what they do is on the meadow upstairs is they try to reach out to you guys. They have so much love for you. I can't express that enough. Don't waste your time with assholes on here. You've got a hell Pleiadians that are dying to meet with you. That are dying to bring their love to you, that are dying to hear you, that are dying to talk to you. They want to hear your story. So they get together up there and they try to quantum entangle with people down here. And it's just wild. And they really they just so want to meet with you. So try to quantum entangle with, now you have his picture, right? You can look at the picture and try to connect with him. Because he is a party, I tell you. We're actually trouble together. We're, we're we're wild. So yeah, we just and you just will belong. Just sitting with him in the grass, just laying down, looking at the sky in our beautiful meadows on Era, near my house. That's where he lives near me. And it's just, yeah, you're gonna love it. It's the healing you need. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say really there is just healing, blessings, abundance, joy, and we're gonna get through this. Right? That's our contract here, guys, right? You're in service here. So we're gonna do this. All right. We can do this together. So cheers.